The ominous tones in signaling the beginning of the Jim and Terry podcast from the bunker, the Hobbit Hole Studio. God bless your wee pointy head, my friend. That's a great sound effect. I don't know why I've got that accent on. We had a low-budget show.
That was air siren. Yeah,
the sirens. Yes,
we grew up with air siren tests.
We did. We had one on the top of our school. I don't know whether you did too.
Corvette down the a kilometer and a half, 2 kilometers down the road.
Okay,
and it would have that winding up, then boom.
Yeah, it's a very slow rise and fall. That's right.
And then
signaling the impending
nuclear.
It would be signaling at that time
apocalypse.
They had bombers that would drop the bombs.
Yeah, now they got
before
missiles.
They had ICBMs. So either way, it was signaled an impending disaster of nuclear proportions. And now we have disasters of economic proportions.
Well, you don't even turn the lights off. I mean, even the Second World War, Canada would turn the lights off at night, so they couldn't find us. Now you leave the lights on no matter what, because they'll find you in the dark.
That's right.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter anymore. Let's talk about economic war and check in and see how the tariffs are going since the the debate with the Canadian leaders took place in French. What's the policy going in? I've been reading things about California and Governor Newsom as well.
Well, they're suing. They're suing because the Constitution does not allow a president to put tariffs. And
son of a gun!
I know,
Did anybody tell Trump?
I don't know how Trump's just bulldozing all this in.
Executive
order.
That
I know.
Executive orders.
He obviously is what he is. It's his followers I don't understand. I don't know how you can. Wait, not that. Okay. Only if you were a billionaire, you might want to, his whole cabinet's billionaires. Okay, never mind.
Okay, got nothing to say.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Governing by executive order. Isn't that the way a dictator rules?
Oh, absolutely.
There's been no laws passed. There's just been executive order, and I can't.
Well, it doesn't matter. Law doesn't matter. He is the lawless one.
He is the law.
He's the lawless
somebody
one.
said that once upon a time in Europe, and it caused a revolution. Well, maybe not instantly, but it did lead to one. L'état c'est moi. The state is me. Louis XIV, the Sun King. I think his favorite color was gold too.
Well, because they worshipped the Greek god. What's his name? Come on, you should know this.
I don't know.
No, Trump has that mural on his ceiling in his apartment.
A mural on his ceiling. Okay.
He's a Roman or Greek god.
Zeus?
And well, let's say that. Just I don't know if it is. Somebody can phone in and tell us differently. Take the calls, okay? But what he is, he's the god of war and of gold, and he worshipped gold, like everything was gold. And I should send you this 15 reasons why Trump's the Antichrist.
Well, you can tell me the link, and I'll put it in the description of this. 15 reasons why Trump is the Antichrist is Jim's little link here.
Well, it says 15 reasons. 15 reasons the Bible. 15 Bible reasons for the Antichrist, something like that.
That Trump is.
I might have in my. I can check before we leave.
Okay. Well, staying on the topic of tariffs and trying to stay focused. We understand the U.S. Constitution does not give the president the power to impose tariffs. It is a congressional act that must be passed. And so Congress, have they acted? Has Mike Johnson done anything? Good Christian Mike Johnson.
I think the better question is, why should one person not have that responsibility? Oh, maybe because you would crash the economy? Maybe because you would greedily tax your own people to death? Maybe those are the reasons why you have to bring it to Congress, and they go, why do you want to do that to California? Seattle's suffering. Seattle's a port city. It's suffering.
Have you got any data points to? Have you read?
I was just watching
the news.
I was just watching the governor and the.
I saw a bit of the Newsom interview.
This was actually at the port of Seattle, and they were talking about how this is just destroying their economy.
And this is Seattle.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the whole West Coast.
Yeah. Well, don't forget some of the Chinese products are like what 148 on them. So this little guy that's bringing in something from China
What's this doing to Walmart?
Yeah, well, Walmart and them are already telling you it's a difficult problem. And did you see what China did yesterday?
No.
They blocked all parcels leaving, all parcels coming.
So there's zero movement.
Zero mail.
You're talking about products, manufactured goods or parts?
In other words, let's say I would have the mail service or whatever service bring me my 500,000 key fobs of my hotel.
That were made in China.
They're not coming.
They're not. Okay.
They're just not coming. So I'm going to have to get the key fob that cost me 3 cents to make there. Now I'm going to have to get that key fob made in Seattle for $2.50 each.
Isn't this funny? The concept that Lutnick and company are claiming is what they are trying to do is called reshoring. The better question is, why did American manufacturing offshore production in the first place? And the answer is always money, 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 money.
Well, we're also a global cooperative. And that's
we used to
sort
be.
of Star Trek. You know what I
used
mean?
to
Like
be.
we're all going to become
Part
this
of the
global-
Federation.
Yeah. And now that a wrench has been totally thrown in there. I think forever. I don't think it's fixable. And who holds the cards really is China. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Number one, they don't care if
this is what you wanted to talk about last.
Yeah,
Okay,
they don't.
great China. Here we
they-
go.
they
The
don't
dragon
care-
is rising
They don't care if 1 million people die in China.
because they have surplus
They have 1 billion.
population.
They have 1 billion of them, over 1 billion. And
what's a
I
human life worth?
will also reflect the fact that Trump said to Ukraine about Ukraine, falsely claiming they declared war on Russia,
Right.
that you don't pick a fight with a country 20 times bigger than you. Well, Trump, you picked a fight with China, which is 20 times bigger than you. Their army is 200 million. Yours is 3. And you've picked a war with
Well,
these
it's
people.
good news is that they don't have enough ships to get the 200 million anywhere.
They just built the biggest aircraft carrier in the world.
Yeah.
Do not underestimate China. They're not going to tell you everything they have.
No, of course not.
They're not. And they do have, version 6 aircrafts too
Yes.
that they have.
That's right.
Yeah. And now NATO is going to be understaffed because of Trump's decision. You'd have to be an idiot to buy an F-35.
Yes.
You'd have to be an idiot.
Well,
An idiot.
That's another thing is the reshoring. Well, Canada's going to reshore too, and we're going to look at domestic aircraft, military aircraft
I love
production.
that proposal.
Since the Avro Aero
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
kerblunk in the 1960s, this is an opportunity for Canada to make stuff.
Yeah, right here.
Right here. Do you remember when was it Moulton or Downsview was a big aircraft
I think, yeah.
manufacturer?
I think Australia, Italy, and France are building a jet, and they're thinking of having Canada be a part of it, which means part of that jet would be built in Canada. And it's the next generation fighter jet. Now, for those listening saying, why wouldn't you want the F-35 built in America? Well, a couple of reasons. One is Trump publicly announced from the White House that anybody else who gets their jet, it's not going to be as good as their own jet. So, and he said it this way, because your ally today may not be your ally tomorrow. That's Trump. That's coming out of his mouth. He said it.
He's got no filters.
No filters. He said it, and if he said it, he means it.
Yeah.
So those F-35s are going to be lesser quality. They're also dependent on the United States to upgrade the software. So if the United States decides to attack Canada, we have F-35s and they have F-35s. Ours don't work because they shut them off or whatever they did. The
Engine's
missiles
not
won't
starting.
work, that kind of thing. And then I also want to point one more thing out about the great big sleeping dragon, and that's this. They hold over $1 trillion bond,
Yeah,
whatever
the
you call
T-bills.
that,
Yeah, Treasury bonds.
on the United States.
Yep.
The United States should remember that. But I also want to point out what caused this rip. When they got Canada mad, we weren't talking about, tariffs, okay, we're going, that's kind of crummy. But when he said we want to annex Canada.
Yep, that was
well,
gloves are off.
Screw you, gloves are
Elbows
up. He did the same. Vance, that poor brainless, he
That hillbilly elegy.
he said it.
Yep.
They're just a bunch of peasants. And China went, peasants built this country. Our peasants designed this. We have the highest of this, highest of that, and went on and on and on.
Have you seen the China AI trolls
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
the obese factory workers, Trump and Elon
Putting little
Musk?
screws in phones. Yeah.
Nice trolling by China.
But he got him mad.
Yep.
And he got him mad to the point where one thing you might not be able to do in China, Vance did it.
Yes.
And that was unite the country.
Well, the three of them. I mean, Curly, Larry, and
unholy
Moe.
trinity.
Oh, I was just going to go with the Three Stooges. Get something a little safer. Yeah, there's so much there to unpack, but we're running out of time. Any final thoughts on this whole thing? China is going to be the.
You woke up the dragon.
You woke up the dragon. You poked the Canada goose and you woke up the dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, woe befall.
Just like Hitler, you're going to have too many fronts.
Too many friends. Well, too many friends and becomes a back. And somebody's going to kick you in the back side. And we'll see where that goes.
big enough.
Jim and Terry Show.
Oh, yeah.
Signing off for now. What's next? Stay tuned.
I don't know who let him in.
Wanna carry this load no more. I don't wanna carry this load.
So the sweat of my brow.